I'm not sure exactly how long ago, about 7 years ago, I was a member of the South Tampa Chamber of Commerce. And I'm pretty sure that's where we met.
Yeah, someone asked me the other day, I'm like, all I know is I've known her for a long time.
Yeah, and so Dr. Jaime was offering coaching, business coaching, and life coaching, but I was very interested in business coaching for myself. I had a new business, and I set up to some sessions with Dr. Jaime, and it was everything that I had hoped it would be and more, because the way she works and the way she helps you to identify your goals and then make progress and track it and be excited about and stay motivated. It was a wonderful experience that helped me publish my first workbook and my first DVD. And so that just always sticks in my head. And she's also published a great book that she's incorporated, because she teaches workshops as well. She's incorporated some of these concepts, maybe all of the concepts, because I haven't gotten all the way through the book yet, but the Superwoman's Guide to Super Fulfillment, and it's not just for women, but it is a great book. I'm sure she's going to share more about it, but please welcome Dr. Jaime.
Take two. Okay. So thank you for having me. I'm so excited. I was at the group on Tuesday, and it was an awesome, awesome group. So I'm very happy to be back. Today we're going to talk a little bit about how to achieve your goals and the steps to get there. So I will just go ahead and jump right in. So a little bit about me. My name is Dr. Jaime. I have done a ton on work-life balance. I write for Forbes. I write for Maria Shriver on work-life balance. I've done national TV on work-life balance. So I can say I'm truly an expert in this area. But the arrangement of this list right here wasn't always that way. So probably when I first started my workshops, mom and wife was somewhere toward the bottom. I didn't have my priorities straight. I didn't have my balance. And that is when the book came in. And I realized mom and wife needs to be on top for me, for my life. And it's made an impact in everything I do. And you'll learn a little bit more about that as we go on. But I feel like I have an amazing life, and I think it strictly comes from the way that I've set my priorities out. So mom and wife, I tell the girls, don't look at this guy for too long, you'll fall in love. That is my husband right there. His name is Wes. We've been together for 14 years. We've been married for 11. I am a mom of these two boys, Wesley and Blake. They are 7 and 11. I also own the fastest growing cleaning company in America, 2 maids and a mop. I own the Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater locations, and I am the area developer for the state of Florida and part of North Carolina. I wrote the Superwoman's Guide to Super Fulfillment. It has been published in 15 different countries. One of the coolest books I wanted to show with you. So this is the book right here, but one of the cooler ones is this one, which is the Romanian version. So when you look inside, you have no clue what it says. I just hope that they actually put the right content in here, and it doesn't say something like discriminatory or something, because I have no clue what it says. But this is my book. When you publish in different countries, this cover is exclusive to the United States, so when your book is printed out in other countries, they have to keep the content the same, but the cover of the book has to be exclusive to that country. So it's really, people say, what's like the biggest accomplishment in your life? And so I sometimes want my PhD. It's actually not. It's probably being in Barnes & Noble stores and seeing the different covers of my book across the different countries. It's so awesome to be able to say that. And then I also am a professor at Ashford University, and I teach for them. They have a remote program. So that's a little bit about me and who you're getting the information from today. Okay, so about today. So if you get bored and you want to fall asleep, when is the presentation over? You'll know based on this where we're at in the presentation. We're going to talk briefly about commitment, then SMART goals. We are going to do some activities, so please have a pen and some paper by you. We're going to talk about priorities, saying no, toxic people, barriers, and then at the end I would be glad to take questions. You can just kind of, if I tap my phone, I'm just checking the time to make sure I stay on time for you. All right. So if you are going to go ahead and create a goal, the very first thing, if you got something in mind that you're thinking, I'm going to do this, the very first thing you need to know is that there's a difference between commitment and interest. If you are highly interested in a goal, you are not going to achieve it. If you are committed to your goal, you will achieve it. So what is the difference? When you are committed to a goal, there are no excuses. It doesn't matter if your car breaks down, your kid gets sick, you're not a morning person, you had to work late tonight, you have no food in the house. It doesn't matter. You are going to make it happen. There is that no excuses attitude. Interest, you could be like highly interested in losing weight, but then you say, well, I don't have money for a gym membership, or I worked really late this week. I mean, I worked overtime. I didn't get home till 8 o'clock. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm dead tired. No, you can make it happen if you want, and that's the difference between interest and commitment. All right, so step 2 is SMART goals. I'm sure many of you have heard what SMART goals are. They are specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound goals. So if you say something like, I want to lose weight, you're not really setting yourself up for success. You need to be very specific in that. I will, not I want to, I will lose 10 pounds by December 2017. That's reasonable. You can lose 10 pounds between now and December. If you're trying to lose weight for your trip next week and you want to lose 10 pounds in the next 5 days, it's going to be really hard to do that. But the point is, I want you to be not only measurable in your goal, but realistic. So often we step off our goals and we compare ourselves to someone else. So the example I gave last week was, you want to go for your MBA. You've got 2 kids, you're a single parent, you're working all these jobs. You might not get your MBA in 2 years. Don't compare yourself to that girl that's coming right out of college. Parents are paying for her MBA. She owns an apartment. She's not married. She has no kids. She'll get it in 2 years. You're not going to. So whatever the goal is that you have in mind, and we're going to talk about those in a minute, take a step back and make sure it's realistic for your life. Otherwise, you're setting yourself up for disappointment and then ultimately failure. So go ahead and keep that realistic part in mind. So I want to take a moment to I want you to create a SMART goal. So go ahead right now, and and we're going to share, I want you to create a goal that you're going for or that you need to start, and I want you to make it a SMART goal. So keep in mind, it needs to be measurable, there needs to be a deadline to it, it needs to be realistic for you. All right, so let's start with the gentleman in the pink shirt. What is your SMART goal?
My goal is to not wake up in prison within the next week.
Wow, okay, overachiever. Man, I wanted to hear something about the laser. You're actually the guy I was thinking about for the show. I think you would be a great fit in talking about some of the laser stuff. So I do want to hear if you have a goal about that. I'd like to hear.
I have a goal, our internal personal goal of our business, to try and get at least 20 patients a month.
Okay, great.
On, laser packages.
Nice, excellent.
I will finish writing my second chapter by August 31st.
Yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. Is there anyone that can hold her accountable to that?
Oh, I have. I have people that I.
Okay. Well, maybe let Desiree know,
But-
and then she can
okay.
share with us and let us know. I'd love to know. I love to know the success. There's so much. We don't have time for it, but I've had some great
Okay.
success stories that have come from this moment. So please let us know.
Thank you.
I want to hear yours again because since Tuesday, it sounds like you've made progress on it.
Yes.
Yes. Tell us again.
Well, basically, I am in the process of signing a contract with a couple Mexican cities to clean up a 600 to 700 mile river and lake.
Yes.
And it's the world's second dirtiest lake.
Is this the water from that?
Yes. I gave the body.
That's awesome.
Demonstrate for us how you would clean that up.
So basically, I just found out about a week or so ago that they didn't invite a single competitor.
That's amazing.
I was the only person on the agenda because I wrote down, you've been working on this river for 25 years and you have achieved zero. This condition just got worse. So I found out that was the only, they call us vendors, that was on the ballot, and they're considering it. And hopefully, as I said, in another 24 hours, I should have a contract in hand, and we should meet in Washington, D.C. in about 3 or 4 months. That's 3 or 4 weeks.
Yes, yes, that's awesome. Good luck.
So my goal is to actually physically be in Mexico in 30 days.
Yes, yes, I love it. Does anyone
You can
else
fly
want
down
to?
there with your Learjet.
I don't think I'll get that quickly, no.
Does anyone else want to share their goal? Yes.
Well, I just started my business in September, so I'm coming around to the 1-year mark, and
Okay.
it's been growing, and I'm excited about it. But I do have a goal of seeing 15 to 20 clients on average a week by this time next year.
I love it. Excellent, excellent. And that's a great goal to break down into smaller goals, because you will achieve it. So sometimes it's hard looking at that bigger goal, right? And if we can break it down into small steps before we know it, 1 client turns into 5, 5 into 10, you're seeing 10, 15 a week, and you achieve your goal. So that's great. Anyone else before we go on? Yes.
I have, and I just wrote this last night, so that was easy for me.
Great.
But I will schedule 10 appointments for skincare demonstrations for the month of August.
Nice. By when?
By August
By
30th.
Oh,
But,
by August 30th.
yeah, there
Nice.
will be 10 on the calendar.
Nice.
Through, yes.
Excellent.
Right.
Excellent. That's great. Anyone else want to share? No? All right. Okay, so the first thing, if you want to go ahead, so now you know you're committed to this goal, your no excuses attitude. Now you've got this awesome SMART goal. Now what are you going to do? You need to get your priorities straight. That's first and foremost. So we don't have time to do this activity, but typically it's actually in the book. The average person has 15 to 25 life roles. So not just mom or dad and caregiver and, I don't know, wife or whatever it is. You're also the family CPA or the business CPA. You're the business attorney. I've been the attorney and I don't have my law degree. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to go ahead and sign this and hope for the best. Because we are, when you're a small business, you're like every sector of that business when you first start out. So you need to go ahead and you need to sit down and you need to create this list of everything that you do. The dog walker, the chauffeur, the family CPA, the therapist to negative Nancy in the office, maybe your HR. So create all these lists. The grocery shopper, the laundry doer, I'm talking everything. Sit down and circle your top 5 life roles. I can tell you right now, if you ever feel not balanced in your life, one of those top 5 life roles you are not giving enough time and attention to. What it means with your priorities is not that you forget everything else on your life roles to do, but rather when you're doing anything on that top 5 life roles, you're being mom or dad, you're being spouse, you're being an employee, whatever it is, you're dedicated, 100% dedicated and in the moment with that life role. I always give the example of my son. My son would rather have me sit on the floor for 20 minutes and play Thomas the Train in an imaginary world than to spend 4 hours with him while I'm making dinner, doing laundry, fighting with my spouse, texting my friend, on the internet, checking my email, being a professor. That 20 minutes will satisfy him and allow me to move on and do everything else that I have to do, like my new goal that I have. So it's very important that you identify your priorities and you stick to them. When you wake up in the morning and you have a mission, here's what I'm going to do, you're more apt to say no to the BS that comes in from the outside world on a daily basis. Can you have coffee with me? Can you call me? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? And you're like, how do I say no to these people? But when you're on a mission and there's that no excuses attitude, you are going to be more apt to say no. And we'll talk about how to say no in a moment. So whenever I do my workshops, I share this quote because I love it so much when it comes to balance and achieving goals in your life. And this is by the COO of Coca-Cola. I'll go ahead and share it with you. Imagine life is a game in which you are juggling some 5 balls in the air. You name them: work, family, health, friends, and spirit. And you're keeping all of these balls in the air. you will soon understand that work is a rubber ball. If you drop it, it will bounce back. But the other 4 balls, family, health, friends, and spirit, are made of glass. If you drop one of these, they will be scuffed, marked, nicked, damaged, or even shattered. They will never be the same. You must understand that and strive for balance in your life. So keeping that in mind, that you could have no clients and have to shut down your business tomorrow, it's going to bounce back. Especially if you're a business owner, you know the entrepreneurial roller coaster for sure, right? It's up and down. You could be $1 billion company and you're going to have a down. You're going to be like, we're shutting down. And then the next day you're going to run the world. That's part of it. Work always bounces back. If we lost our jobs today, we can find a job very soon. Don't panic. But if your spouse leaves you, if your kids move out and they hate you, if you don't have peace of mind, if your spirit's gone, that makes a huge difference in the quality of life and fulfillment that you have. It's very hard to achieve goals when you're worrying about some of your top 5 life roles. So always remember that work will bounce back. Step 4, if you want to achieve your goal, you have to say no. You've got to say no to all of the BS that comes in from the outside world. So Warren Buffett's quote, the difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. So if you're not saying no more than you're saying yes, you're probably stressed